All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hope you all are having a good night here. I got a suggestion in the comments to react to something that, of course, I'm going to react to, being a lifelong Suns fan. This one's called The Ultimate Suns Team, and it's by Johnny Arnett, the guy with the coolest intro in all of YouTube, at least in the basketball realm. As always, I'm going to link the video the link for the video down below in the description. That's if you want to watch the Johnny video without my commentary. Everybody else, if you leave this video a like, I'd really appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. And yeah, let's just see what this is. And let's see if I disagree with anything. And yeah, we'll all get to put our takes in the comments. Let's just do it. Here we go. Best intro. And yes, I'm going to say it every time I do a Johnny Arnett video. Caught like the smoothest fadeaway ever.
In this Ultimate Team series, I make the best team I believe possible, picking players from all eras of NBA history. It isn't just about how talented the teams are, but I'm also trying to build teams that would gel and execute well together.
Okay,
Today, we're looking at the Ultimate Suns team. Before I get started, here are the rules you need to know. To build each franchise's ultimate team, I will be picking a starting 5, a second unit representing each position, and then 3 additional rotation players at any position I choose. In total, there will be 13 roster spots.
Okay, full team.
It's worth mentioning that I will not simply be building these teams based on how talented each player is.
This one's going to be hard on the point guard position.
But I'll also be factoring in how well these players would do together as teammates.
Cool.
So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting at point guard is the famous leader of the 7-second offense, Steve Nash.
That's what I would go with too. It's hard though because you got J Kidd and you got Kevin Johnson on there too. But I would go Steve Nash too, and I would have to make up for it with defense with everybody else.
This back-to-back MVP winner was so ahead of his time, as he was a floor general who pushed the tempo to a pace that was considered insane in the mid-2000s. He was one of the most efficient players in NBA history, as he has the most 50-40-90 seasons of all time. Not only was he a quick decision maker with seemingly eyes in the back of his head, but he was also an all-time great three-point shooter who would hit them with regularity in transition.
Okay, especially if we were playing in today's era. My God, Nash would destroy at point guard these days because he would shoot twice as much as he did before.
At his best in 2006, he averaged roughly 19 points, 10.5 assists, and 4 rebounds on stunning efficiency splits. The one major weakness of his game was his defense, as he didn't have the lateral speed to stay in front of the quicker point guards. So he'll certainly need help.
I always remember Kobe doing this to him. Props for Nash for trying, but oof, you might have wanted to get out of the way on that one. But I know he was trying to draw a charge. He was too far deep into pain
in that regard. But outside of that, he's the perfect candidate to lead this ultimate all-time group.
What a pass.
Starting at shooting guard is the 6'6" scorer, Devin Booker. He's a
Devin Booker. You know, I think I got to agree. We haven't had a shooting guard like this before. We've had amazing point guards, but not a shooting guard like this.
Talented weapon who has the ability to score from just about anywhere on the court. But alongside of a prime Steve Nash, he'll be even better.
Yeah.
In 2022, Booker finished 4th overall in the MVP race, while averaging roughly 27 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists.
Yeah, because with Steve Nash, Booker wouldn't have to play so much ISO. Go back and watch Joe Johnson when he played for the Suns with Nash for one season. It was pretty sick. Joe just had to go ISO when he felt like it, but outside of that, Nash was facilitating so well that he didn't have to worry about it.
As a solid three-point shooter, he'll create plenty of floor space, which makes him an ideal teammate for his point guard. When plays break down, he'll be more than capable at making opportunities for himself. as he has the ball handling and the fundamentals to punish opposing defenders on a regular basis. Starting at small forward is the 7-foot assassin Kevin Durant.
In his prime? Hell yeah. And then I'm thinking Barkley at the 4. Oof. The 5 is tough. If we're talking people in their primes, then Shaq at the 5. But if we're talking about people for how they were when they played for us, then probably Amari at the 5. It's tough.
Simply put, he's one of the greatest scorers in the history of the game.
Yeah. If he's playing small forward especially, then he's going to play on the wing. Good luck. Good luck to the opposing team when you got Book on one end and you got KD on the other and you got Nash facilitating, driving the defense crazy. It would be very effective. That's what the Suns needed this season anyways, was a solid point guard. Instead, we made Devin Booker play point guard. It was so stupid.
Who has the skills and the versatility to fit in a variety of systems. He's enjoyed being a part of some fantastic offenses, but this may be the very best, as efficient shooters like Booker and Nash will create plenty of open shots for KD, not to mention Nash's elite ability to find Durant the instant he's open. As always, he'll be a nightmare to defend for opposing wings. With his length and experience, Durant will provide some much-needed defensive value to this starting unit, making him a rather obvious choice for this starting selection. Starting at power forward is the round mound of rebound, Charles Barkley.
Yes, sir. Because we need some defense, because so far, these 3 guys not really playing D. So we are going to struggle with perimeter defense, but Barkley's going to have to make up for some of that. And he's also going to have to get all the rebounds, but he did that anyways when he played here.
Bulldozer was on the tail end of his prime in Phoenix. And he
was
actually the league's MVP winner in 1993, as he averaged nearly 26 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists on 52% shooting. He was an intimidating combination of speed, strength, and athleticism. And thanks to these attributes, he was a terrorizing force in transition.
He was. He earned that MVP, but then Jordan took that personal. And then when they met in the finals that year, I think Jordan averaged 35, 36 points a game. Punished him.
Which makes him even a better fit for this group. Thanks to his dominating rebounding ability, he'll provide plenty of second chance opportunities for his perimeter shooting teammates.
Damn. Prime C-Web.
Starting at center is the 6'10 athletic beast, Amari Stoudemire.
Yeah, that's fair. It's fair. Because Amari in a run and gun is going to work better than Shaq in a run and gun any day of the week. So fair. And Charles Barkley would run back, so he fits in too. Yeah. It's a hell of a team here.
During his prime, he was a pick-and-roll monster.
Yes.
And with Steve Nash in this starting group, he'll continue to do so on this squad.
I still say him and Karl Malone are the 2 best pick-and-roll players of all time. The Karl Malone and Stockton duo and the Nash and Amari duo. They perfected it.
For a guy who plays the 5 spot, he was especially dangerous at running the floor, as he was often the one finishing the highlight in transition. He had a decent mid-range jumper when given space, and with the teammates he's got, including a punishing Charles Barkley down low, he'll find plenty of instances where he's given some extra space. At his peak in 2008, he finished in the 6th spot of the MVP race, while averaging 25 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 blocks on a deadly 59% shooting from the field.
Those were good times.
Now on to the second unit. The backup point guard is another one of the all-time greats, Jason Kidd. Yes, he's most famous for his years in New Jersey, but I think many people forget just how good Jason Kidd was in his early years in Phoenix. He was a constant triple-double threat who was arguably the best passer the game had to offer.
Yeah.
On top.
Yeah, if we're playing this system, he fits in more than Kevin Johnson. It just breaks my heart, dude. Kevin Johnson gets no love. He's one of the greatest point guards of all time.
But that, he was an elite defensive player, as he could suffocate opposing guards with his on-ball defense, while also being among the league leaders in steals. He had a mesmerizing campaign while also being among the league leaders in steals.
Sorry.
He had a mesmerizing campaign in 1999 as he finished 5th in MVP voting and was selected to the NBA's first defensive team, while averaging roughly 17 points, 11 assists, 7 rebounds, and 2 steals on 44% shooting. Steve Nash better watch his back, as this guy is certainly capable of stealing the starting gig. The backup shooting guard
Yeah, really, just go with whoever's healthier.
is the 70s legend Paul Westphal.
Paul Westphal,
This
nice.
6'4 guard was the leader of a championship contender during his era, and at times he looked more like a modern perimeter player, as he had a fundamentally sound pull-up jumper, while being equipped with some of the best handles of his time. In 1978, he put up a stat line of 25 points, 5 assists, and nearly 2 steals on 52% shooting from the field.
Little tidbit, he also coached that Suns team with the MVP Barkley that went to the finals against the Bulls. Those were good times too. We loved him as coach.
He'll definitely be a spark of dynamic offense when he's substituted in. The backup small forward is the one they call the Matrix, Sean Marion.
Yep.
This 6'7 athlete was the Swiss Army knife of his team, as he filled the void in a variety of areas for his team. For one, he was one of the best wing defenders the game had to offer, as he
Absolutely.
was an annual Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He was also a tremendous rebounder and a transition threat. He had one of the ugliest jump shots that I've ever seen, but it worked for him, and at his best in 2006, he averaged 22 points, 12 rebounds, 2 steals, and nearly 2 blocks on
It's funny. It's like Magic Johnson. You see them take a jumper, and it's like, what the? But they made a lot of them. You know, like the Matrix made a lot of those jumpers. I used to make fun of it all the time with my friends. Like, what the hell kind of? He's pushing off his chest. You know, but hey, man, he'd make them. It just he couldn't do it with a defender in his face. He had to be wide open. Thankfully, he had a guy named Steve Nash who would give him the ball wide open, so he got to knock down a lot of those shots. One of 2 players to ever have these stats or better in a season, other than David Robinson, 22, 12, 2, 2. Yeah, dude, that's sick.
52% shooting. The backup power forward is one of the most underappreciated
Chambers.
scorers of all time.
And leapers.
Tom Chambers. This 6'10 high flyer was often posterizing opposing players.
Yep.
He was a big man who played the game like a smaller wing.
Dude, I remember one of the original basketball games, like NBA Lives, but I think it was whatever it was before NBA Live, like Bulls versus Blazers and Bulls versus Lakers, like one of those. Oh, man. They had a Tom Chambers move in there where he would just like fly from the free throw line with 2 hands and dunk it because he did something like that in real life. It's fun as shit growing up as kids. Me and my brother would always laugh because it was like Tom Chambers is a cheat code in this game.
As he could handle the rock, he could make plays for himself, and he had speed that could challenge just about anyone.
Yeah, he's a
In
true son.
1990, he led his Suns to 54 wins while finishing among the MVP candidates. That season, he averaged 27 points and 7 rebounds while hitting 50% of his shots. This star will be eating very well with the various all-time great facilitators on this roster.
I know, for
The
sure.
backup center is the diesel Shaquille O'Neal.
Agreed.
I think people are too quick to write off Shaq's time in Phoenix. Sure, he was hardly a
Okay, so that answers the question. He is going based on their time in Phoenix. In that case, I agree 100%. Yeah, I agree 100% with him so far. Good list, Johnny. And yeah, Shaq off the bench. Good luck, you know, because he was still. This was right after Miami, so yeah, he was overweight. He lost a step, but he would have games where he would just annihilate. But make him not the starter and make him come off the bench and play about like 15, 20 a game, dude, he would produce in that situation.
factor in Cleveland and Boston, but I believe his full season in Phoenix was his last elite year in the NBA.
It was. And then he went to Cleveland and it all just went downhill for him. You know, whatever it was, it did not work between him and LeBron at all. But yeah, when he came here, it broke our offense. That's not his fault. You know, I blame Steve Kerr for that because he was the GM for us at the time who facilitated this trade. So he broke our offensive flow, but if you watched him play, he was still dominating because him and Steve Nash, they worked it out together. They found a way to make it work.
In the 08 to 09 season, he played 75 games, while averaging 18 points and 8 rebounds
The big Shaqtus.
on a league-leading 61% shooting from the field. He was an all-star and made the league's third All-NBA team, and was still an above-average rim protector.
Yeah, this was his
in
last
fewer
All-Star
minutes behind Stoudemire, he'll be fresh and ready to dominate in the short time he's out there. Now on to the 3 rotation players. The first is yet another incredible floor general, Kevin Johnson. This guy was the Suns' second best player during their finals run in 1993, and he was a dual threat, as he could either explode as the game's top scorer, or he could completely control the game as the top distributor. Sometimes it was a little bit of both. Despite being only 6'1", he was remarkably explosive and could finish above the rim.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. MJ used to do this all the time too, but this dude ain't 6'6". So like him dunking on and it wasn't just Hakeem. This is the most famous one. But dude, man, he made it a point. Little guy wanted to leapfrog and dunk over all the big guys in the league. I loved it.
Way that was similar to a prime Derrick Rose.
Boom.
He's one of the few players in NBA history to average at least 20 points and 12 assists in the same season.
Miller.
And with the rotation of Nash, Kidd, and Johnson at the point guard, there will never be a...
Hold up. One of 2 players to ever have these stats or better in a season other than Magic Johnson. Yeah, that and so many other reasons is why I have him as one of the top point guards of all time. He's just so underappreciated.
Rotation of Nash, Kidd, and Johnson at the point guard, there will never be a time where the Suns won't have an elite floor general to orchestrate the offense.
Yeah, he doesn't even have to shoot if he doesn't want to. 12 assists a game, get him in there.
The second rotation player is the 6'8" forward,
Connie Hawkins.
This Hall of Famer had great ball control thanks to his massive hands. And not only was he a fundamentally sound player with a solid mid-range jump shot, but he was also one of the best finishers around the rim during his era. In 1970, he averaged nearly 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists, while making 49% of his shots. This squad won't be hurting for any scoring.
Yeah, no kidding.
But this guy will ensure that that flow of offense won't stop once he's substituted in. The third rotation player and the last spot on this roster goes to the 6'6" wing, Dan Marley.
Respect. Dan Marley was a hell of a Phoenix Sun.
Thunder Dan was one of the elite 3-and-D players.
Hey, any Suns fans out there, you remember the Thunder Dan Deluxe at McDonald's back in the day? What is now known as the Spicy Chicken? Or Spicy McChicken? That was good times, man. Shoot.
Of the 90s.
99
as
cents.
He was an NBA all-defender while being a dangerous sniper who was lethal as far as 30 feet out. You can certainly argue that there's more talented players worthy of this spot, but Marley is the kind of specialist that will fit well with this team.
Yeah, because not only he had that shot, but he played hardcore defense as well. So he was a two-way player. You need those guys off the bench.
It highly emphasizes transition shooting and floor spacing. So here's a final look at the complete roster of this Ultimate Suns team. I imagine the squad will run things like a more talented version of the Suns in the mid-2000s, in the sense that they'll be scoring an insane amount of points with their elite transition shooting and with their dangerous pick-and-roll basketball.
All right, who are our defenders? All right, we got one. Fair enough. J Kidd wasn't bad. KJ was good. Paul Westphal, decent. Matrix. Connie played D. Tom Chan. Okay, no, this is a good lineup. This is a very good lineup. Yeah. If we're ever getting run, then we can just make some substitutions and bring in some good defense off the bench. That's a good list.
If I'm being honest, I wouldn't be surprised if this team ended up leading the Ultimate League in scoring. If there's a weakness, it's in the paint, as Amari Stoudemire plays more like a power forward at times, and Shaq was solid but well past his prime. Do you think this Suns team can make noise in the Ultimate West playoffs? Let me know below. Also, here is my list of honorable mentions. Should any of these players...
All right, yeah, CP3 for sure. Larry Nance for sure. Joe Johnson, yep. Paul Silas, wow, that was before my time. I didn't know he played for us. Mikal Bridges, fair enough. I miss him a lot. Gortat, yeah. Barbosa was cool, man. It was a lot of fun. Get out of here, Ayton. Raja Bell, hell of a defender. Hornacek, hell of a shooter. Grant Hill played really good for us. Tyson Chandler, yeah, cool.
have made the roster instead? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section below.
I like his list.
Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys.
Yeah, I could tell he didn't just throw this crap together. Like, he really put a lot of thought into this. So I really can't argue with anything on this list. What about you guys? How do you feel about it? I think that's a pretty solid team because it's got some of the best offensive players. It'll be a crazy offensive system, but you got the defenders there as well to, you know, to shake things up. And if all else fails and small, you know, fast breaking small ball isn't working, put in Shaq and Kevin Johnson and put a slower, more gritty team around that. You know, with like Tom Chambers and whoever else you want to put in there. People who will play defense, slow the game down, but still be effective offensively. I'd love to coach that team. That's all I know. All right, anyways, let me know what you guys think. What differences would you have from what Johnny put out there? I can't really think of much. You know, I got to praise him for a solid list. Did you enjoy this video? Should I do more of these videos? Because I see that he's done this for a lot of teams, and this was kind of more fun than I thought. I never watched any of these videos before. But yeah, if you liked it, leave me a like and comment down below. Let me know you want to see more. And also, yeah, let me know what changes you'd make. Yeah, I hope everybody has a good night, all right? Take care of yourselves, be good to your people, and be safe out there. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Good night.